It looks like it's time to evacuate the major cities again, as the King of the Monsters and the 8th Wonder of the World prepare to clash in the next installment of the monsterverse, Godzilla vs. Kong: The New Empire. Indeed, Godzilla is not alone in this vast universe of monsters. Long before Godzilla rose to dominance as the ultimate monster, another formidable king laid claim to the secluded Skull Island. King Kong makes a triumphant return to the cinematic realm in Kong, Skull Island, defending his sacred homeland against intruders. Decades later, the colossal titans Kong and Godzilla collide in the aptly titled Godzilla vs. Kong. Despite their initial enmity, the two behemoths ultimately join forces to vanquish the rogue Mechagodzilla. The upcoming chapter of the Monsterverse promises an epic spectacle of chaos and destruction. However, the rivalry between King Kong and Japan's symbol of nuclear devastation, Godzilla, runs deeper than many may realize. Prior to 1962, both monsters were fading stars on a collision course. King Kong, introduced in the 1933 blockbuster King Kong, hadn't seen the silver screen since the hastily produced sequel, Son of Kong. Similarly, Godzilla, created by Ishiro Honda and E.G. Tsuburaya at Toho Studios, had been absent for 6 years following the lukewarm reception of Godzilla Raids Again in 1956. Their respective studios saw an opportunity for resurrection through a clash of titans. The genesis of King Kong vs. Godzilla is a saga of stolen concepts and legal maneuvers by powerful studios. Animator Willis O'Brien conceived the idea of Kong battling Frankenstein's monster, with both creatures reaching colossal proportions. However, producer John Beck appropriated the idea for his own purposes. When Universal Studios' ownership of the Frankenstein character thwarted this plan, Beck turned to Toho, which eagerly embraced the opportunity to revive Godzilla and introduce him to King Kong's domain. There was no one more thrilled about the prospect of King Kong and Godzilla facing off than Tsuburaya, whose passion for cinema was ignited by King Kong, prompting him to temporarily set aside his own project, Kaguya Hime, based on a 10th century fairy tale. Tsuburaya and his team embarked on the task of creating new suits from scratch, with the redesigned Godzilla suit becoming an enduring icon. Although King Kong's enthusiasts were less enthused about their beloved ape's appearance in King Kong vs. Godzilla. Criticisms abound, with Super Mega Monkey describing Toho's Kong as resembling a gorilla suit crafted by someone whose sole exposure to primates was through pictures of orangutans.
Fatality.
Despite the mixed reception of the suits, lead costume actors Soichi Hiroshi and Haruo Nakajima were granted artistic liberty to interpret the roles as they saw fit. Hours of rigorous training, including the study of matches featuring the robust Toyonobori, a burgeoning star in Japanese pro wrestling, paid dividends. King Kong vs. Godzilla stormed the Japanese box office in 1962, mirroring King Kong's canonical victory over Godzilla, despite an ostensibly ambiguous conclusion. The film had still attained cult classic status within the genre, with its charmingly low-budget effects contributing to its enduring appeal. A year later, an American version of the film was released in the United States, following a similar approach to Gojira's adaptation of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, with additional scenes featuring American characters witnessing the epic clash. The film featured a United Nations reporter providing commentary from UN headquarters, while the New York Museum director delivering exposition in the biology of Godzilla and King Kong. Although modestly successful, with reported theatrical rentals of $125 million, King Kong and Godzilla have not crossed paths on screen for over 5 decades. Following the triumph of King Kong vs. Godzilla, Toho produced the standalone King Kong Escapes, directed by Honda, in which the ape battles his robotic counterpart, Mechani-Kong, created by the nefarious Doctor Who. However, subsequent legal disputes over the ownership of Kong have hindered Toho's ability to incorporate Kong into future Godzilla films. While King Kong has made periodic returns over the years, Godzilla has enraged in battles with a multitude of creatures like Rodan, King Ghidorah, Destroyer, and Gigan. In Japan, he experienced a revival in Shin Godzilla, while Gareth Edwards' modern Godzilla reinvigorated the American audience. The latter film set the stage for a new monster universe. culminating in Kong's Skull Island and the inevitable clash that looms on the horizon. So who will emerge victorious from this epic showdown? While Godzilla reigns as the acknowledged king of monsters, Kong is a formidable contender and one of the mightiest titans in the monsterverse canon. However, Kong's strength is not merely happenstance. Born from a catastrophic war on Skull Island, he poses unparalleled power. In Skull Island, The Birth of Kong, a prequel to Kong Skull Island, fans delve into Kong's origin. Born amidst a brutal conflict between the Kong species and the reptilian skullcrawlers, Kong's parents were among the few survivors. Witnessing his parents' demise ignited an unyielding rage within him, fueling his invincibility. This narrative suggests Kong's creation was not accidental but a result of selective breeding amid a war-torn landscape. While the exact cause of the Kong vs. Skullcrawler Titan War remains unclear, its repercussions are profound. The conflict ultimately culminated in the survival of only the strongest individuals of the Kong species, inadvertently shaping Kong into a living god of Skull Island. Despite the Skullcrawlers' decimation of the apes, the species endured within the Hollow Earth, hinting at their impending return in Godzilla vs. Kong: The New Empire.
Come on, son of a...
King Kong stands as the offspring of the last two ape warriors, his indomitable rage propelling him to become one of the deadliest titans in the monsterverse. In the past millennia, Kong's species abandoned their original home in the Hollow Earth, as revealed in Godzilla vs. Kong. The revelation of Kong's connection to the Hollow Earth in Godzilla vs. Kong significantly impacted the monsterverse, bringing about a substantial change to his character's status quo. After defeating Mechagodzilla, humans relocated Kong to his ancestral homeland. Despite Skull Island's uninhabitability, Kong thrives in an environment once occupied by a Kong tribe. Questions arise about why Kong species abandoned the Hollow Earth, a seemingly ideal habitat. While a scene in the Hollow Earth temple implies Kong might be the last of his kind, uncertainties persist. The vastness of the Hollow Earth suggests the possibility of another tribe of Kongs thriving in an undiscovered corner. Kong and humans only scratch the surface of this mysterious monsterverse realm, leaving its full extent unknown.
Is that a mini Kong?
What do you think? Comment down in the section below and don't forget to like and subscribe.